discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? First thing, Jennifer Lynn Schroeder. This is the first, she wasn't here?
Right.
Okay. Hold on just in case she comes in. Anthony Burnett?
Anthony Burnett, are you here?
Hold on too. Sean? Jack.
Jacques?
Jacques?
Come on up, have a seat.
Okay. Here. New bartender license.
Correct.
You know why you're here?
Yes.
And the OWI is at
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
Sean, where are you going to be working?
Fourth and long.
Okay. So the reason you're called in
Yep.
is because you had an OWI.
Correct.
And that means that at least on that occasion, and when was that?
May.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a bad choice for yourself.
Yes.
And as a bartender in our city, we're going to be expecting you to make choices for your customers
Already have.
pretty routinely.
Yeah.
You know that, and it's not an easy choice sometimes. You might blow your tip or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but that's one of our peeves here. Is we see highly intoxicated patrons getting into trouble.
Right.
You know, so, I guess this is for you and anybody else here for a bartending license. There will be an occasion when the police may send somebody in underage,
There.
you know, sting. Oftentimes, the establishment will just fire you.
Yep.
I don't know what the policy is, what my
It
kids
is,
report them
yeah.
on.
Yep.
You know, and there's a ticket that comes with that,
Mhm.
you know, and then that ticket's gonna follow you around in another community when they get a bartending license, or we'll bring you in here and talk about that. You know, don't serve people that have experienced bartending already,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a long time, short time?
Long. I was back in college, so
No,
a
okay.
while back.
What kind of bar?
Just sports bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you have a full-time job also? or
Yes,
is this supposed
down at
to
US Bank.
Just some extra money?
Yep.
or-
Yeah.
The actions of this committee tonight will be then presented to the common council at the next council meeting, which is on February 6th.
Okay.
So if we approve your license application, it's not in effect until it goes to the council.
Correct.
And you physically have it in your hand,
Okay.
which would mean you could pick it up that next Wednesday, February 7th, between say 10:30 and 3 or 2:30. And if you don't pick it up that Wednesday, it's gonna go in the mail.
Okay.
So remember, if we vote in the affirmative, you won't have your license, you don't have a license till you have it in your hand.
Right. Okay.
Did I miss anything?
Just one correction. It's a compliance check now.
Compliance check.
Compliance.
Okay. Do I have a motion on this?
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
Heather Lynch. New application for Polly's. You have two. Check your OWI. That's why we're calling you here. Geez. Way back about 10 years ago, but still they're on there forever. So, and that's why we're calling you. Are you working there now?
I am.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chair,
All in line?
you heard what I told the gentleman ahead of
Yes.
us, you know, and we're gonna count on you to make that decision for your
Right.
customers. And if you do have to call the police, when they come, you're gonna be helpful and
Of course.
give them correct information and full information.
Yep.
Okay, and if you get a third, you'll probably be in
Right.
front of us
Which won't
taking your
happen.
license.
Right, right.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Katie Robinson.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, once again, the bartender's license.
Yes.
Bugging out.
57th and Lincoln.
Mike, hi.
Yeah, the old
the old one.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
tiki torture.
and, you know, you hear under influence, driving the license.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Alderman May can have it.
All on me.
Nick, what does it mean when someone's arrested, charged, reviewed, and not processed?
I looked into that specific incident just to see if I agreed with the officer who looked at that. She was listed on the report for that incident as a contact. There was 2 other individuals that were no process. So what happens is if the officers find a probable cause, they'll issue it, send it down to the DA's office, and the DA's office can make a decision whether or not they're going to proceed on criminal charges or not. It sounds like they didn't proceed on criminal charges. That being said, I don't believe any charges were referred down even for Ms. Robinson for that specific incident. She was a contact person. That's it.
What does that mean, contact person? It mentions Phoenix.
Yeah.
And an
What we're
arrest.
talking about is a 2013 incident where you were living around that time, or people you had contacts with.
Yeah.
So it
and
shows up.
ex-boyfriend.
Yep. And so, what it references in the police reports is a 2013 felony case with somebody you knew.
Well, yeah, I was still on the lease.
Okay, something along those lines.
Yeah.
She's a contact. There was actually, her name was only listed in the reports twice, and it didn't have any narrative in terms of really explanation what she was doing there. Just she
no
knew this
process or anything
person
like that.
who also had a felony case from that circumstance. It's not something we want to see, I would imagine, and
Right,
you're
no,
probably aware of that.
I was still on the lease, but I wasn't living there.
Okay.
So technically, I even asked the landlord like 6 months prior to take me off the lease, but I thought I was off the lease the entire time. So
I don't think she was referred down on any charges though.
No, other than just the 2 OWIs again.
yeah, like I think it's over 10 years ago, and I've been bartending for like the last 7. I don't drink anymore. I have a young child, and also at the bar that I will be bartending at, there's a no drinking policy at all.
Just and again,
Which
as
is
Alderman
good.
Shapleski mentioned, 3 strikes you're out. So
Yeah.
don't get a 3rd
Oh,
OWI
no.
because
I think
it's
that's a
like
felony
automatic
anyways.
revocation. So.
Yes.
What, Mr. Chair, isn't
Old
there,
road.
is there 3 or 2? Because
It's 2.
7, right, but there's one here, while intoxicated, while intoxicated.
Yeah, there's 2.
Yeah,
Okay, we're showing 3, or I am at least on mine.
Guilty.
it's 08 and 04 were the 2 events.
Most
Yeah.
tickets come with, or
Multiple.
most OWIs, you get a few different kinds of tickets. You get OWI and a prohibited alcohol concentration.
Yeah.
You don't convict on, only 1 counts.
Okay.
Okay, the Waukesha one could be the same one that you're looking at there.
Right, Waukesha is 1, you
Yeah,
know.
so you got from the 7th and the,
Well, there's 2 different dates, or
Yeah,
there's
once
even
right,
2 different
but that's-
months.
yeah, 2 different months, but sometimes what that is the court case or something, so. Correct?
It takes some time to process between
Okay.
offense and conviction.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have one question.
Sure, go
follow-up.
ahead.
How did you get here today?
My boss Amy drove us.
Okay, yeah, your
Yeah,
driver's
I-
license is
yeah.
suspended.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, are you doing
I'm working
anything?
on that.
You're working on it.
Yeah, I moved to Iowa for a year, got pregnant, came back, kind of starting all over again. So in the process.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll move approval.
Thank you.
1 second.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
how are you doing on the driver's license? How far,
I don't
when do you
know.
think you'll have it?
Oh, within the next like 3 months, because I probably I have to go. I'm not even sure what I have to do, but I did my taxes today, so if I have to pay anything, or even I know I can't drive without insurance, so I have to just make sure everything's in place.
I'm just looking at your address because you live a long way away from West Allis.
Yeah, but Amy lives right down the street from me,
Oh, okay.
so I'm Burleigh, so it's not too far.
Just want to make sure you're not tempted to break the law just to get to work.
On that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
So with the license,
Well, it's gotta be voted on by the council,
so like what you
which
said
is,
to the
which would be
Yep.
on the 6th.
Okay.
So the soonest you can have your license is February 6th.
Do
The
I
7th.
7th,
do I
day
come
after.
back on the 7th?
You don't have to come, if you don't physically pick it up, they'll put it in the mail to you
okay.
that day.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you mean, do you have to come to the common council and
Come.
Yeah,
have a
that's
discussion
what I
like
meant.
this?
Yeah.
No.
No.
And no, you don't.
Open to the public.
They trust us.
But you can't.
Okay.
You're always
Yeah.
welcome, but it's not
Yeah,
required.
Okay,
it's
thank
free.
you.
It's free.
That's free.
Okay, Jerome.
Yes.
Ford. How do you pronounce your last name?
Flugret.
Flugrat. No. Really? Okay, have a seat. Oh, okay. You're here because of the incident on November 10th of last year, where a person came into your place. It looks like he was there for about an hour.
Are you on Rockstone?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Hour
you.
and 45 minutes, and had 4 drinks and passed out, hurt himself. You were the bartender?
Yes, I was.
And you served them 4 drinks, and you didn't notice that the person was drunk?
The person came in, he was quite coherent throughout the day, throughout that time period. Him and I were talking back and forth, playing music on our jukebox. He was the one getting up and walking over. And many of those times he was putting in the money just fine, playing songs. And and this last one, he started stumbling, and as he was trying to put in money into the box, he was going forward and unable to find it anymore. At that point, sorry, I have a slight cold.
That's right.
Is where I had cut him off, and then I was just starting to talk to him. Hey, where do you live? Are you able to get home? Are you near here? Do I need to call you a cab? He kept responding with me. He did not need a cab. He was fine. He was fine. At one point, I told him, dude, you have to go. You have to go. He left. About 5 minutes later, he came back into the establishment. Dude, I'm not serving you. He's just it's out of town. I brought him a red Solo cup of water. Drink some water, dude. Drink some water. I ain't serving you. Just have some water. And so I'm just drinking some of it. After about 20 minutes, I tried going up to him again. Hey, are you able to get home? Do you need help getting home? He kept saying, I don't need it. No, I'm able to get home. Where do you live? Right down the street, down the corner. Are you able to get there okay? Yeah. At that point, after he finished his water, I told him he has to go again. He got up and he started falling into the door. He was trying to open the door on the reverse side. I got up around, I helped him out of the establishment. He started walking down, and then he started coming back. He had stumbled into me. I was like, dude, you can't come back in. you can't come back in. I can't serve you anymore. He kept trying to get his way back in. I was not able to fight him away. He came back in. I opened the door and said, oh, dude, I'm calling you a cab. He then sat on his stools. I called him a cab. That soon arrived. And once it had arrived, I was in, hey, dude, your ride's here. You gotta go. He then got up and stumbled on the ground into a curdled fetal position. And at that point, I'm trying to shake him. Hey, dude, your ride's here. You have to go. Come on, get up. And I'm trying to lift him up. And the only person in the bar at the time was a gentleman. He is 66, half blind, and walks with a cane because he had a stroke a couple years back. So he was not able to help me at all. Because I was unable to move him at all, to remove him from the establishment, I waved outside for the cab to continue on, because he wasn't going to come out and help. And that's where I came in. I then called the non-emergency police station, telling them I cannot get this person to leave. I can't get him to leave. I need help removing him. While in the process of waiting for the police to arrive, eventually he did gain consciousness and then walked out of the building again. When he had walked out of the building, I closed the establishment. I closed the door and locked the door and turned off the light. That way he could not force himself back into the building or hurt himself inside of the building. At that point, he was not injured at all. I found out later, talking to the police officer that arrived to arrive to help him. He came in, spoke to him, and then I found out that he had hit his head or his mouth or something. My only guess from that point has happened is when he was outside, he had fallen and hurt himself.
Okay, but my point is that you had 4 drinks within an hour and 45 minutes. Isn't that a lot? Wouldn't you think that is a lot?
What he was drinking was short drinks of Southern Comfort and cranberry, and compared to others a lot of others of my regulars, some of them daily regulars who drink talls, and I'll drink 4 of those within an hour and be still very coherent.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Olin Weigel.
So SoCo 80 or 100? 80?
80.
Okay, and do you measure your drinks or do you free pour?
With how we free pour, but with how our glasses are, they're designed in a way that
So what's a drink? An ounce, 7/8, ounce and a quarter? What do you pour?
I measure. We fill it up with ice. It's got ridges, and with a cup, it goes out and then up again. I pour to that line.
So you don't know how much alcohol is in a drink.
I do not.
So that's the concerning part. You know, I mean, we're sitting here. You poured a guy enough drinks that he went unconscious in your bar
Mm-hmm.
in an hour, and I understand. I've been bartending since 1977.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if he's on meds, didn't have dinner, didn't sleep well. I guess it would have been lunch, skipped lunch.
Yes.
I mean, bartenders are expected to make a lot of judgments about their customers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you called the police. It's just not good it got to the point where you had to call the police.
Yes.
You know, so I think you should know what you pour in a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should check with your boss,
Mm-hmm.
and there should be some sort of standard so that you other employees know, and your customer should know that when they order a drink, how much they're getting. And apparently this guy's not a regular customer. You've never seen him
It's the
before.
first time I've seen him ever.
Okay. So yeah, that's. I guess that doesn't matter here. But you should be pouring a consistent drink,
Yes.
so that at least you know this guy's had 6 ounces of alcohol, or this guy's had, let's say you're pouring an ounce and a quarter, you know,
Okay.
5 ounces of alcohol. Because we all see those charts, and have you taken the class?
I have taken the
Okay,
class.
so
yes.
you understand that how much you drink is the most important factor. Other things enter in age, weight, sex,
Yes.
you know, all that other stuff. But the most important factor is how much alcohol a person has.
Okay.
And you know, we've seen this now in the industry. Used to be a drink was a drink. Well, now we have what you describe as a short, which is what most people just call a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's talls, which has become the de facto standard. Is a tall is a double. If someone orders a tall, do they get a double?
Yes.
Okay. You know,
And a short is a single.
as short as a single. Okay. Yeah. So, but you know, I don't know that that's a standard yet, because some people want a tall. Regardless, you should know how much alcohol is in a drink.
Okay.
All of your coworkers should know.
Mm-hmm.
And that way your customers can know. And again, this guy's not a regular. And you served this guy to the point where he couldn't stand.
Yes.
You know, you didn't do him any favors.
No, I did not.
No.
Does anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chair, I move the place on file.
Second.
Yeah, I just want to say, just take what was said here, just, take it to heart and
Yes, yes.
watch it in the future, because a lot worse could have happened. You could have walked down the street, got hit by a car or something, and then somebody would have been coming after you.
Yes.
So, okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, I'll add, we're glad that you called the police. That's the good part in this, and we certainly understand what you were saying and your efforts to try and deal with this guy. But yeah, what everyone else said is right as well.
Mm-hmm. Know how much I'm pouring, know what's in a pour, and pay more detailed attention.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That's it.
Yeah, so we placed that on file, so we won't take
may I
any
ask what
further
that
action.
means?
That's
Nothing.
yeah.
Unless you have you back again.
And then we say.
And we
then
hope
we'll
to
see
never
a
have to
pattern.
have you back again, because it means
Okay.
that something else happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we see a pattern, and then we'll go to revoke your license. If something might happen.
Okay.
I mean, especially
I need more than one.
if we see you back related to something specifically like this.
Yes.
For certain. We may see you here for something else. Or
Okay.
you may just come because you like our company.
What if I want to serve you to drink?
All right. I can't
Thank
make
you.
a decision whether they're short or long.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Kruger? And you know why you're here, right?
Yes, I do.
You realize, let's see, how many places we checked that day?
10.
None. Oh, yeah,
No. We were on compliance checks and there was,
10.
10? Oh, 10 places they went to and you were the only one to serve, someone. Now, I think this is the first time that you serve somebody, your establishment served somebody, on a compliance check.
I thought I saw one in 2016.
Pardon me?
I thought I saw one in 2016 as well. I could be wrong.
There was one other one.
Let's see that here.
Sure enough, right here.
I'm missing a page here.
Now I was fuzzy about what date that
Yeah,
was.
March
but-
1, 2016.
So you got one a year.
Okay, here.
Two different bartenders. First one was Benjamin Marcone. The second was Jamie Jackson.
You know, I mean, do you go over this with your bartenders and you
Yes.
know, make sure you card it? I mean, once again, not being a bartender, it's probably easier to say, but anybody that even looks vaguely young, you know, I would be checking.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, similar to a Pick and Save who checks everybody,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to be on the safe side.
Mr. Chair? Are they still with you?
Yeah, Jamie is a part-time bartender. He works Friday nights, 9 to close, and then every other Saturday. And the other gentleman is still with us too.
You know, so you know,
But they,
this
if
is-
something like this happened again, they will not be, and they have both gotten written out.
and it's a third strike on you, being the establishment, so I would really crack down on everybody and you know, because that's not looking good for you.
I understand that.
You know, so. Okay, do I have a motion on this?
Move to place on file. Second.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman May.
I'll just point out, usually we see these reports, the police will send one person in. This was actually 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them, neither of them got carded. So, and being in our district, we don't like to see this in the 3rd district. So, definitely card everybody. I think it's just good policy. Card everyone.
I mean, that you don't know. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enrique.
Is that this? Okay, now you also got, you also were the only one on the compliance check for the other license.
Where is it?
And I'll tell you, I'm very disappointed because
Right at
you-
60th and Broad.
you've been in business for how long now?
A little over a year.
Yeah, and you got one for tobacco and you got one for alcohol. You know, selling. Now I know you said that, well, you sold it to somebody else and they gave it to him, gave it to the girl?
Yeah, so it was, she came in, she asked for a pack of Newports. I put them on the counter and I asked her, do you have your ID? She says no, so I said, I can't sell to you. And then I turned to my customer, it's a regular customer, I know she can buy cigarettes. I'm like, you could buy yours though. It was my way of pushing the business, trying to let her get a pack of cigarettes. And then I have it on camera and I'm fighting the ticket because I talked to my customer and she said that was on her. She didn't take it, that I told her to. And on camera you can see that she's like sneakily doing it. And if I told her to do that, I don't believe she would sneak it. She would just do it in front of me. So yeah, it definitely wasn't my intent to try to. I mean, with the alcohol ticket, I let my mom go. She's not at the store anymore. So I do take it very serious. I'm not that type of person. I'm just trying to work my business, you know.
Mr. Chair.
Owen Weigel.
Back up. Okay, so a regular customer of yours is in the store.
Mm-hmm.
She already bought a different brand of cigarettes, Black and Whites.
She didn't buy anything. Yeah.
Okay. But then the operative comes in from the police,
Mm.
and you card her, and she doesn't have an ID.
Yeah.
At which time you still want to make the sale.
So I try to switch to my other customer.
Oh, you tried to like not even wait on this person anymore? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like, okay, I can't sell to you, we're done. And then I'm focused over here. And usually if I do that, the customer just walks out. But I didn't kick her out. She could have bought chips or something, you know, I didn't know what she was trying to do. So, you know, I kind of just focused over here, and I'm talking to her now. She's out the picture for me. I already
And now
told
this
her I
now
can't.
this customer that's already pays for the Newports that you put out.
Yeah, so I have the Newports, and I'm like, but you could buy your Newports because I know she smokes Newports. So as I'm telling her, what I recall is she's reaching in her pocket, but on the camera it shows that she's kind of going this way to sneak and get the money from her. And as that's happening, another customer walks in, and this is all going on during a shift change as well. So a customer walks in, it's another normal customer, so I'm like, hey, he walks up and he's talking to me. And that's when on camera you can see that they exchanged the money.
So you didn't see the exchange.
I
You
did
didn't
not see it
promote
at
the
all.
exchange.
No.
You did nothing.
I mean, the officer told me that the young lady said that I told her to give the money or something similar. Like I was the one that initiated that, which I didn't at all. All I did was talk to my original customer to say, you can buy your cigarettes. And then when they did go to give the cigarettes to her again, on camera you can see, since it was a shift change, I turned to my brother and I say goodbye to him. I shake his hand and my back's totally turned. So yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't do it.
Mr. Chair,
Hold on, Dave.
I have a tendency to believe our police department, but you're saying you're contesting this in court?
Yes. I mean, I have the footage, and I talked to my customer, and she was like, because I told her I had to go to court and stuff, and she was like, for what? You know, that was on me. Like, she said she would be a witness and stuff too. But he said, since she walked out with the cigarettes, I have to get the ticket. But I was not aware that she got cigarettes or anything like that. Like, she handed the money or anything. So.
I guess I'm wondering, Mr. Chair, would it make sense to hold this?
I would like to see the video.
See the video?
Either see the
Did you
video
turn the
or wait
video
till the
over to
court
police
case is done?
I haven't done that yet. I was still a little cloudy on how that process worked. All I did so far was claim not guilty in court.
So you pled not guilty to the judge, and then you haven't met with me yet, or
I'm
a
not.
intern. Okay. So it's gonna be another day for a pre-trial. I don't remember reviewing the case, and then likely set for trial.
Okay.
And my thinking with holding it, we're waiting for the video. Let's see what the court says.
Well, Mr. Chair,
Hold on, wait.
I'm reading from the police report here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the police officer. I asked Enrique how many transactions the other female customer made while at the business. He said she made 2 purchases. She purchased a pack of Black and Milds first. What are Black and Milds?
Black and Miles are cigars,
Or cigars?
but she smokes Newports.
Okay. Because I just thought it would be weird that somebody buy 2 different kinds of tobacco products.
Right.
'Cause most people have their brand, right?
Mhm.
And then she later purchased a pack of Newport cigarettes. He claimed he did not see the transaction and things were hectic at the business. Okay, as you said, I just
Well, yeah. What really set it in stone is that after that whole situation, and I got my ticket, she came back, and she bought a pack of Newports, and that's what really made me think like, oh wait, like you
I'm
said,
sorry,
why
who
would
came
she?
back?
The regular customer,
Came back,
and bought another pack.
bought another pack of Newport.
And that's what made me like, well, yeah, that definitely doesn't make sense. Like you said, why would you buy 2, back to back? But yeah, she smokes Newports. That's her thing. Yeah.
As the chairman said, this is a disturbing trend. You're a new business, open a year, 2 violations already. Now, maybe this isn't a violation, I guess, I don't know, but it sure looks like one to me, and I guess I'd like to see what the court has to say on it. Regardless, we wouldn't be taking, I mean, if you get another one and another one, then this is gonna be real important, whether this really happened or not.
No, I personally will move for revocation if you get a third failure on a compliance check. But do you have a court date at all? Have you gone to court?
February 14th is the date they gave.
And so I would get that video,
Yeah.
like they said here. Of course, the first time you go, they just give you another date, right?
First time you plead not guilty, you get a date to hang out with me for a little while, and then you get another date to come back and try to beat me.
Okay, so we're just holding this until, you know, until after your court date and
Okay.
see what everybody else says, cause, you know, there's a chance, but it, you know, we go by what, you know, the reports
I
usually say.
understand that, yeah. I
And
mean, the,
Hold on,
I'd like to add one more thing. Also in the police report, it seems the police were given a tip that you have been selling to underagers. So
really,
you should probably do a better job of carding
yeah, well,
consistently.
I know that,
And don't just say, I mean, if the kids, underage kids are coming there buying cigarettes, don't just go, well, this guy's been in here before, I know him. Maybe for the next month, you should just card everybody.
yeah, for sure. Well, I know that, the officer who, just had gave me that ticket just a couple days ago had said he came in with like 4 or 5 officers.
Oh, right here. We
Said
have
that
him
he
right
got
here.
a tip. Yeah, he said he got a tip or something that I was selling like some gummies or something like that. So I was totally compliant with them. You know, I let them search the whole store and
What are
stuff like that.
gummies?
I was kind of, I didn't really understand it
Is that
100%.
a synthetic
Marijuana
marijuana?
gummies,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, they got marijuana gummies now? Where have I-
not legally.
Um,
Not in our state.
Not in our state.
So yeah, I was totally compliant
Okay.
and everything. So you know, I have nothing to hide. I'm transparent. You know, and with the first one, I was gone and I had my mother take over. So she did sell, and I don't have her at the business anymore. So you know, I'm very strict, and I would never do that knowingly. You know, so that's the whole.
Well,
reason
yeah,
why I'm hiding.
hopefully
Okay.
you wouldn't do it knowingly. You might do it unknowingly.
Well, I'm saying the whole you can buy cigarettes
Oh,
for
yeah,
someone.
yeah.
I would never do that knowingly. So.
I think we should.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna hold this, so we'll wait to see what happens until after your court date.
Okay, so I get another paper to come back, or
Something, well, after your court date's gonna probably be later than that.
Yeah.
March.
I would assume you're gonna get probably another letter, say come back on some date. We just don't know when it's gonna be yet because you don't have a court date for a trial yet.
so the 14th. It's not going to be actual court date. It's just
It's a court date. It's a pre-trial with me, or my intern, but I'll make it with me. So we'll talk. We'll look at the police report. We'll figure out a solution. My inkling is that we're probably not going to come to one, but then we get a trial date and we'll go from there.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, Christina Lopez. Hello. You know why you're here?
Yes.
I'll tell you something. How long have you on that bar now?
A year and a half. October will be 2 years.
You know, in reading the police report, it's just another violent act at your bar. I mean, I don't know what type of people are being attracted to your bar, but these are serious
It's crazy.
beatings.
It's crazy because this one here is dart people. Like, we've never had problems with them. I've known them from like
Is it
bullshooter
darts?
darts, yeah. We started a dart league at the bar, and we had people that we knew from like bullshooters and buzzards like come and join our league. So these are people that like we knew that never had problems like this. So like, I know that one of them was talking to another one's girlfriend, like kind of sexually, and you know they might have been drinking. I wasn't there during the time of darts because I was shooting at buzzards. So when we came back, I was, you know, we were all hanging out and they were talking and everything was fine. And then they started, you know, just basically talking amongst themselves, their friends. You know, oh, that was kind of, you know, like rude that you would talk to my girlfriend that way, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I didn't say anything really like that I haven't said before type, you know, like, so it was like, whatever. So then they go to leave, and then, so it was no like fighting. Like, I mean, that was like the only thing that they said in the bar. And then it was outside, and I guess he had said something like, you're rude, whatever he said. And the other guy, who is like, he's like a sheriff in Milwaukee, and he like turned around and got in the other guy's face, and that went, like, it happened, like, so then our neighbor, Sandy, she called the cops because she saw it, and none of, like, the bartenders or myself were outside when it happened. When she was standing out there, she saw it, and she called the cops. Like, they're fighting. So it was like, it happened so quickly, and these are people that I would never have ever thought would start a fight in my bar, ever. And they're older. Like, they're older, respectable people. Like, I don't get it.
Mr. Chair,
Over me.
the police report says that the gentleman who had the large abrasion on the back of his head was extremely intoxicated. Extremely intoxicated. And he was drinking at your bar.
He was not. Sniper is another dart shooter who is also I don't know his real name. I just know him by the dart names. He came in with a group from Spitfires after darts. So they all came in afterwards. So like myself, I was at a different establishment shooting darts. I came in and we met at my bar. There were my team was still there. So we're all dart friends. So Sniper was not drinking initially at my bar. He came in with the group from Spitfires.
So he had no drinks at your bar. Zero.
I'm not sure afterwards, like if they did serve him, but he did not get that way at my bar.
Okay. Because if he was already intoxicated and got served, that's a problem too.
Exactly,
You should not
yes.
be serving someone who's that intoxicated.
And he was there when I was there, probably 10 minutes, yeah. And then that's when all of the fighting, and, well, not fighting, but like, oh, don't be rude, don't say stuff like that, you know? And like I said, we've never seen him like that, or that drunk before, you know? So I'm like, why would he be disrespectful? I've never seen Sniper be disrespectful before.
Mr. Chair.
Oh. Over me.
So the people there was the victim, Sniper,
Yes.
and there were the offenders who left in a car.
Yes,
They were in a dart team
team, yes.
in a league, in a Reds league, or?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
all, well, I
So
don't
we
know if
know their
they're-
names?
I only know all of them by,
Well, Reds knows their names.
yeah.
Did we tell the police that?
Yeah, they all talked to them. They talked to like the people that were involved. So they were still. I don't know.
I
There
don't-
was
I
a
guess
black
the-
car that left.
Yeah, the report I saw
There
just
was
said it described a car that left. I didn't think there was any names attached to the offenders.
Yeah, the black car left. Sniper was still there when the cops got there. There was Bear was there and his brother. There was a bunch of dart people that were leaving, and whoever was in the black car, they left.
Okay, so
So-
the people that gave the beating were on a dart team. From
Were-
what bar, do you know?
They were all from like that group came from Spitfires.
Okay.
So,
What was your name again?
Christina.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
I mean, Alder. Right.
And on that, you see, Christina, are you also known as Tina, or is
Tina,
that someone
yeah.
else?
Yeah,
That's
they call
Tina
me.
is you. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So we've had you in here before,
yes.
and the problems were happening when you weren't there.
Right.
Okay. And you said you're going to make an effort to be there.
Yes. And since then,
You're still shooting darts?
Yes. I shoot on Monday.
Maybe you
nights.
should just shoot when you're home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, because you had said that you were going to pay closer attention to what's going on in your bar
Right.
and put an end to this.
And every time, like it's been different people, and that's not. I'm not trying to make an excuse.
Well, there's something about
it-
your bar that's bringing
I don't
violence.
care. I don't
Really
care.
violence.
Because
What do you pour for? Maybe you're pouring doubles all the time. Is that the problem?
No, a lot of our people drink bottled beer. A lot of bottled beer. So I don't know.
Mr. Chair,
Oh.
I guess, the first big incident was about 6 months ago when someone was beat to within an inch of their life. And that started at your bar.
Yeah.
And that troubles me a lot. I mean, that guy was in a coma for,
Oh yeah.
this stuff isn't happening at Applebee's. It's
Right.
happening at your bar.
Right.
And I'm the alderman in that district. And the neighbors just have a real bad taste in their mouth because of your bar.
Right.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm
Let me tell you what they're complaining about. The racing going north out of that alley at closing. They can't stand it. The dumpsters are always open. You got a rat problem there. The noise, the bottles, everything. It's the cars parking on the lawn on Friday nights, behind in the dry cleaner in the window.
Yeah.
You know.
All of that has, yeah. All
No,
of
it
that
hasn't.
has
No,
stopped.
heck, because I was there like 2 weeks ago, driving by, and there were cars on the lawn.
In the lawn?
Yep.
Okay. I haven't seen
Well,
that or
maybe
had
you gotta
that
be there a
issue.
little more often.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is that we had another bar that we had a lot of problems with, a lot of fights with and everything. They no longer have a license.
Right.
You're on that path. You know, and if this continues to happen, you know, next thing we're gonna, you know, make a summons a complaint to take away your license. And you're not far from it. You already had a gun incident too. I think there was one there. Somebody had a gun.
Yeah.
And so it's just so you've got them all. You've got all the same things that the other place that no longer has a license to. So
Mr. Chairman,
all on the road.
we used to use Greg Tanz as an example of how to run your bar. Him and Neighbors Inn. They were just quiet little places, and they'd be called in for something real. And Benno's was one of our finer ones.
So-
It's funny, and I
No,
get
no, I
that,
just-
and I love Greg to death, but like that incident that you were talking about with the coma, I have to put it out there that was his nephew that did that to
I
that
know
guy.
who it. I
So
exactly
it's
know
like
who it
these are
is.
people that have been in that bar. It's
Right.
not people that I know.
Okay.
That's Greg's nephew
No,
that did that.
I know exactly who it is. It's,
So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's okay.
No, it's not okay.
Because
And-
even Chad's family still comes in the bar. His sister was just there on Sunday with me. So like they know I'm not doing.
and he's
you know,
still coming to the bar as well.
No, Chad is not. Chad has not been
I-
at the bar.
I'm hearing differently, but I'll
Chad
let
has
you-
not come to the bar.
Okay.
I can show any footage. Chad has never come back into my bar since that day.
Well, the best thing you could do is tell people to slow down when they're leaving.
Okay.
Don't pick fights with the customers,
Right.
or the neighbors rather, the neighbors for parking on piles of leaves out there and
Yeah.
flipping them off.
Yeah.
No, these are all things that are
Oh
happening.
no, I know. I know.
Well, then if you know about it, why aren't you
And-
doing something about it then?
I
The
have.
biggest thing you could do is go close your dumpster doors as soon as you leave this room.
Mhm.
All in way.
You get to pick your customers
Yes.
by what you charge for a drink, the kind of music you play, the kind of behavior you tolerate.
Right.
Okay. Did I read they were shooting darts for money? Was that in this police report? No. Okay. Yeah, because gambling will lead, you know, whether it's bar dice, you know, that always
Yeah.
jacks people up, and it's against the law.
Exactly.
Okay.
No.
So,
no,
but
it's just the
like I
league.
said, you get to pick your customers. You get to kick people out.
Right.
You know, you can kick people out for a lot of reasons. I mean, there's some reasons you can't use
Right.
protected classes,
Yes.
but you can just say you're rude, you're unruly. Don't come back here ever again. Okay.
Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman May?
Again, if you know they're coming in intoxicated, don't serve them, of course. Please convey all this to
I will.
your
Definitely.
staff as well, because what they do is ultimately a reflection on you.
Right.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Okay, nobody else come in, so Lynn Schrader is not here, or Anthony Burnett. So,
All first times, right?
yeah.
Okay.
That first
I
time.
got a feeling that one's not coming out.
Warrant, right?
Okay, so then we go, the Recovery Club. Now, my understanding is it's closed.
Is it?
It has closed down, yeah.
Then somebody's complaint to revoke?
Does license get, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Cause it's not open now. You know, so.
As of when?
Surprise.
Like first of the year, or?
I would say I first heard about it maybe 3 weeks ago or something. You know, I surprised it didn't happen sooner, you know,
I'll check
Yeah.
and so.
So just for clarification, I mean, they did have a license with Fred Bell,
Right.
and then he left for whatever reason, and then the other guy was in here. Do we hold that license, or where is that at? Do you know?
Donald Henry?
Yeah.
He has a license.
Okay, so then we would.
But we're waiting for his name from the Department of
Changing.
Financial,
Yeah.
to be changed, so.
So yeah, we would have to do
Yeah.
something.
Right here, right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's go ahead with someone's complaint to a consensus on that. Or do we have to vote on it?
Procedurally, I think that's the right call, yeah.
Move to for someone's complaint.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I'm just gonna leave it blank, okay? So, okay, so then we get, Van's Kitchen. Make it around 7 PM, oh. Okay,
We can wait and see if he shows up.
okay.
He said he's not gonna be here till 7?
He said if he makes it, he won't be here till around 7,
If he makes
if he makes it.
Okay.
So, and, okay, we haven't issued his license yet?
No, we're waiting for,
Brian to show up.
What's he
Building
so busy
inspection,
doing?
health
'Cause it's not running
inspection.
the restaurant.
Payment of personal property taxes, among other things.
yeah.
Didn't we originally? He made some commitment to us that he was going to get all that done. I thought it was going to be done within a month.
I have a
As
file on
many of
it.
these things go.
I have a file on it that we had moved for someone's complaint at some point, and
Yeah.
there's a finding and recommendations. I actually don't know what happened after that point. I'm not sure.
I thought everything was resolved. He had some small little kitchen sink thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Ed, can you share anything?
Most of our stuff, I think for building inspection at least, we're just down to, he has to pay a sign fee.
Yeah.
Which is $150 now, cause it's tripled, cause it's from last January that he hasn't paid, and he's gonna get a bill for $50 for this year pretty soon, but, I think there's, personal property taxes, some other issues out there.
Sign fee. I'm not sure about the health department. If they're all squared away, I can find that out. But he does owe not an unmanageable amount of money on personal property taxes. It's doable, absolutely.
Mr. Chair,
All in
to get attention, should we make someone's complaint on that one as well?
That's fine.
Well, did you wanna, why don't we wait till we're done discussing these?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're thinking in case he comes still.
In case he comes in,
Yeah.
so. Okay, let's move on. Retro, okay, we got building code violations.
We've been trying to serve him for a building. I talked to Ed on this one. I guess maybe it's not really a building code violation. He's not registered with the city appropriately, which makes it tough to find him. Figure. But we've tried to serve him 4 times at his registered address, at the bar, anywhere we can find a place to find him, and the bar has never been open. Every time they've gone over there, so
There's
it
a for sale
appears.
sign in the window.
And I was just told there might be somebody looking to buy.
Yeah, Joe Jans is a potential buyer, right?
Oh, really?
So it sounds like they're not operational at all.
So what would you like to do with this?
The committee wants to do.
I think we just hold it. I mean, they're not operating. I guess my concern is just that they shouldn't be operating.
Well, we don't know that they're not
How long-
operating. I mean,
how-
they might open up
They're
tonight.
not open.
Right.
Yeah. All right. It's a good
Well,
point.
Mr. Chair, if they're not operating, then they're in violation of our ordinances anyway.
Correct.
How long has this been going on?
We've been trying to get a hold of him for months.
I think with the property owner registration, I think it started in April, I wanna say. This is about when we first sent them a letter, and that's, we give you the website, it's just click on here,
That's what I did.
fill in some information, and put in your credit card, it's $50 and you're done. We've sent them like 4 or 5 letters on that.
And he's the owner of the building?
Nothing.
He's the owner of the building?
Yeah.
Just a dentist?
Yes. We went to the dental office too, to try to find him.
Yeah.
Really?
Nowhere to be found.
Make an appointment.
I guess maybe.
But wouldn't you wanna go to someone's complaint? Just to get it working, I would think.
Sure.
Because it's been so long,
Yeah. And the
you know,
efforts.
and if they turn around, if it sells in between, we can always stop.
Does the summons complaint stop the transfer of the license to a new owner?
We can change that up wherever it is. There is, if it's revoked, the owner, depending on who's gonna buy it, the previous owner would be barred for the year.
Yeah.
Any new owner, if it transfers, there's not gonna be a bar on that person. It's what our ordinance says is something to the effect of, and don't quote me on this, but it's something to the effect of if the tenant gets revoked, the owner has like 90 days to try to get a license for that bar. We will withhold it for that time. If the owner is the person who gets revoked, then they're off for a year. But it's that owner that's unable to get a license, not the premises.
I thought
But
we
the
had something.
applicant can still get
Right.
it.
Somebody
Okay.
else buys
I don't
it.
want
they're
to. I
stuck.
don't want someone's complaint to stand in the way of potentially a new person.
And if somebody wants to come up in the meantime and we haven't acted on anything yet, I mean, place on file and it's
Yeah.
gone.
They still have the license. That's still a valid
Mhm.
license until we revoke it.
Yeah, well, we're under
Even-
quota anyway.
And a new
We're under
person,
quota.
as soon as they sell it, they can get that new person can apply anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to sell it.
I just think when somebody just disappears or something like this, I think that's the best way to go to try to close it off.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, we're gonna send a summons complaint, but I'm sure it's not gonna
They're gonna
get
find
there.
them anyway.
Yeah.
So what
Do
happens
what
then?
we can. Yeah, I'll
Move
figure
for
it out.
summons and complaint.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We oppose? Once again, I'm not gonna write anything under what you have. Okay, then we have the discussion on gun ranges.
Gun range.
Shooting galleries and gun ranges.
Who proposed this?
We had shooter
had
shop
Sean.
in here to get,
Right.
and then we were talking with Ed, and that might be why Ed's. What I've done, Jenna had worked on an ordinance for quite a while, without any real headway, because really there's nothing on it. There's no federal regulations. There's no state regulations. The municipal regulation we have is the same one that Milwaukee has, verbatim essentially. So Milwaukee says. Building inspector and police department will check off on this and approve what's going on. Municipalities that have gun ranges don't necessarily even have any regulations, especially not like we have them, where it has certain thickness of walls. All the municipalities that I've been able to find any regulations on have one of three, or a combination of three entities approving it, whether it's the common council, police department, or building inspector. Nobody else has anybody different than that coming in to check these. I've determined that there's really no agencies other than potentially the NRA, which would be about $500 every time to have somebody come in to check a place. The NRA does site assessments. I'm not sure if they'll tell us whether everything is A-okay. Shooter Shop right now has whoever was the manufacturer has come in and said everything looks up to our standards, but again, there's no standards on it. So where I'm at right now is that there's
No basis on anything.
I don't know how to figure any of that stuff out. Yeah.
Can we back up?
Yeah.
I don't recall starting this discussion. What's going on that we're
They
having
were
this
doing an
discussion?
addition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I guess the problem's even bigger than the addition. I mean, yeah, we didn't approve their license this year because, yeah, they've been starting that addition. I don't know if you ever
I'd
drive
heard
past
about
there.
it.
They've got that
Yeah.
big addition in the back. Well, it's never been finished. We've revoked their building permit on it once, and then they got it reinstated, and now it's pretty much going to get revoked again. So, so because of that, we never approved their license. But really, even years past, we really haven't been doing any inspections in there because we don't know what we're looking for.
Okay, I get it.
And so, myself, Jenna, and Bob Fletcher, we've been working probably 5-6 years trying to come up with something. But like Nick said, there's really no national standards or testing agencies or anything to say, you know, this is what you should do to have a safe and successful shooting range. So we're certainly not trained in it. We can't find anybody that is trained in it. So we've been trying to work on just how can we fix this, because you know, my staff isn't comfortable signing off on a shooting range. And I don't
So
think
is the
But they
concern
said it was
liability
okay.
of it
Yeah.
either, so, yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, mate.
So what's the concern? The concern is not necessarily lighting and things like that. It's a backdrop for the bullet or
Right, yeah.
whatever it may be.
Ricochet.
We've
There's
got
a lead
complaints in the
abatement
past
issue
about
as
ricochets.
well.
There is, yeah. There's bullet stop. Everything I found out, there's bullet stops. There's airflow. There's
Yeah,
air
ventilation,
purifiers.
there's,
There has to be some.
reclaiming the lead. all
There has
sorts
to
of-
be some engineer or something out there that does that kind of work. Who does our police department shooting range?
They're checking.
Hey, what?
They're checking.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna kind
Although-
of.
There are
Why-
people that do that, and that's this Patriot range that they have comes out there and they check it, but we don't really know what they're checking for. You know, they're walking in there, looking around, saying, "Yep, everything's great." They're signing off. But what standards are you looking at? There's no code. There's no standards for it.
Well,
So,
it sounds like all ballistics.
yeah, I mean, it could be their, his cousin who says, yeah, here's a letter that says you're good. I don't know.
But is that a problem? I mean,
Right.
it's a problem. We want to obviously protect the
You want to be
the
safe.
safety,
Right.
but if we come to some conclusion of what that agency would be. We would pass, I would guess, the fee on to the shooting range.
Right,
And then the liability for that check we would pass on as well to whoever did the check.
right.
Contractually, somehow we would pass it on to them. Your question is, who?
Yeah.
There's got to be some engineer or something that can
Who-
do that
who
work.
and how, yeah.
Structural or something.
I gotta
Some
think
engineer.
that their
Not me.
insurance company. I gotta think there's a specialty insurance broker, insurance company that writes policies for most of these.
Right.
Because it is a weird kind of risk that I have to take on.
Yeah.
And I would also think that possibly that they have some sort of. I mean, my insurance guy's in my building every year, you know,
Yeah.
and hopefully at a place where there's people with guns, you know.
Sure, they're firing.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'll
Chair?
check into that for sure.
Yeah.
Allen Road.
Yeah,
Do you have? I've never been in there. Do you happen to know? Do they shoot north to south or south to north?
I don't know what I've never been in there either.
Okay.
It's down in, it's in the basement.
It's in the basement. I think it's
existing-
east
No,
to
that
west.
addition off the back is what
Oh.
we're talking
Well, yeah,
about.
That's not open.
That's
No.
not open
That's
there.
not
isn't
open
it?
yet. They never finished.
But that's
it.
what spurred this whole
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Parts
to
of it.
some degree.
But even that basement one, we've never been down there to inspect it. From what I've been told is that it shoots
It's a structure.
from west to east underneath the parking lot.
Yeah.
In there, and then
Is
that
that-
addition also
remember.
shoots west to east, kind
Okay.
of right at the guy's living room to the west of it. But, yeah.
And Alderman Road,
Or
I've
his
been down
basement.
there. I've shot down there.
Okay.
I don't know the answer. I don't know which I was facing. In the
Maybe you shouldn't
basement.
have a gun.
Yeah, right. I know where the
Know
target
your
was.
target, what's behind
That's
it.
the important thing. I had a good grouping.
As they're making this new place, so we have our requirements right now. Where those came from, I couldn't tell you right. But as they're making this, are we able to see if they're in compliance with that?
With the new stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
With that new building, but the existing one that's there, I don't know if that was here before our rules, if they ever complied with it, I have
Okay.
no records or way of knowing that. I don't think we had building permits for that. I think it was pre when we annexed that area, so I'm not even sure what that
Is your
is.
musket ball stuck in the wall now? Places that are open.
So have you called other communities? I know you mentioned you'd looked into other ordinances, but had anyone called any of these communities to say what do you do to inspect these?
I have not yet. No,
Yeah.
I've looked up every ordinance I could possibly find, but the problem is that there's so little. There's only us in Milwaukee who has anything to do with quarter-inch steel plating and any regulation along those lines. Most ordinances that I've found just simply say apply for a shooting range and county council has to approve it.
In the state, so a community that doesn't have a building inspection department, the state does their building inspection for them, correct?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. A state or a state agency would go in there and do that, but
So would we have a state agency to call and just say, hey, how do you do these things?
they probably wouldn't look at that, because that would be a municipal ordinance. I don't think they would send the state in to look at it.
So literally the International Building Code says you just need walls, or maybe you don't, and they can be made out of wood. Like the building codes don't even touch it.
Right. Yeah, there is no building code for an indoor shooting range.
There is. I'm trying to think of. It's like a hunting association. Not
Out in Waukesha?
It's a state agency, and they're super pumped about a range that they have up north. I can try to call them, but I think they're only outside ranges. I don't know if the state has anything to do with interior ranges. But
ATF doesn't have a state of the practice
I've
and
looked at
design.
ATF.
They don't
Nope.
have.
I was gonna call. Actually, that was one of my next steps. Is trying to call ATF, the local branch, and seeing if they have. I mean, they regulate guns, everything you'd think of. But there's a list of about 20 per 2 columns, and nothing has to do with gun ranges. It is unfathomable why there's nothing on this.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, I would suggest maybe look at what the city of Brookfield does or doesn't do. The Wisconsin Firearms Training Center, that's a newer facility, very similar to our range, an indoor range built within the past couple of years. It's on 127th and Burleigh. They had to, within the past few years, gone through this whole process.
Okay,
Smart.
City of Brookfield.
got it.
It'll be out there somewhere. Okay. Any further
I
discussion?
agree.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold that one. Or Okay, now discussion on the Class B operations, a timeline, relative to a timeline.
So on this one, I know we had a discussion in the past back in late November, I want to say. And then since then, I think I sent around a draft ordinance just saying, is this kind of in line with what anybody wants? Since then, again, it's been updated similarly, or additions akin to the city of Cedarburg. It came to Jenna's attention that the city of Cedarburg revoked a license, or at least suspended a license for non-operation, so we looked at that, kind of gauge how they added it. So they have a minimum hours of operation. They had it's open to the public kind of concept. I will say that theirs was a little more strict in that they had to be 15 days per calendar month, and then they really over-defined, in my opinion, what a calendar month entailed. And so if you're open after 2 o'clock or after midnight on a first day of the year, that counts for this.
That counts.
If we're getting, I figured if we're getting that close on semantics and somebody's that
That's a little
close, I don't
too
think
tight.
we're gonna be that
Yeah.
upset about it. But if we're a matter of 2 hours. In any event, this is what it currently is set at. I can change whatever anybody wants. The original intent. So 1 is just definitions. 2 is going to be what we kind of discussed in committee here, that people would have 60 days to get the show on the road once they're approved. If they're not up and running in 60 days, we would call them back in here and have the option of either just revoking them at that point or giving them an extension if they can give us good reason why they're not up and running. After that second 60 days, that's kind of it, right? But under, what is it, 4, we can petition for an exemption, say that they have any one of them 1 through 6 or anything else we want to consider. Say it's a major development, say it is somebody that is putting substantial work into it, we can grant them, or the committee could grant them an exemption from being operational for those 60 days for as long as we see fit. I think the language I have in here is something along the lines of, on their request, they would have to put a date certain that they want to have it done by. We can make it shorter or longer if the committee wants to. But that way they're coming to us with a reason. They're saying why I need an extension. They're giving us the date they want it to be done, and we can make a decision based on their past conduct, whether they're putting money into the community area. So that's 4. Going back,
So it's like a variance to the, if you will.
essentially a variance to the initial operation of a license. And then to give this a little more teeth, we put the failure to open. Right now we have any time you have to be operational in the last 30 days. What does that mean if you open for a minute or 10 minutes, an hour, 1 day? So tried to clarify that as well, being that you had to open up for at least 10 days a month for 240 consecutive minutes. You're not making money otherwise.
Mr. Chair.
Only way.
I'm thinking of a license we approved in your district, the dog house, well, no, the Bulldog 60 it was
Right.
Doyle's. The woman characterized the business as she was going to cater weddings there, cater events. Okay, we're expecting her to be open 10 days a month. Well, what if she's just doing Saturdays? Even if she's doing Fridays and Saturdays, it might only be 8 days a month. And a catered event might not be 4 hours.
Another variance idea, right?
Yeah, I think there should be, and we need to consider that at least. You know, I don't think I'm thinking of, I guess I don't know how much like a Knights of Columbus is open and all that. We have some kind, and not that they're all private clubs, but, 10 days in a month and 4 hours a day. I mean, that you'd have to, if you were a caterer, you'd have to be doing 10 weddings. If you were a hall, you'd have to be doing 10 weddings a month. And that's every Friday and every Saturday and a Sunday too, once in a while. I guess that's something I think we need to think about.
Absolutely. I threw numbers in there because I thought 15 days for 240 hours seemed a bit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
240 hour, or so many hours within a 30-day period.
Sure.
Instead of so many days, could you do? But I like the idea of a
anything we
variance
want.
instead.
The tough thing is still going to be kind of a proof issue. Is that it's going to be our burden to somebody.
That's my other question.
Yeah.
Are we expecting them to say, "How do you prove you're open?"
Show us your video log, right?
No, not
I'm
every bar
joking,
has
I'm not
video.
saying that,
Not every
yeah.
bar has video. You know, we're gonna require every bar to have video. And who wants to sit through those video logs?
Right.
Right.
I don't know if we're gonna just boil down to, I mean, you're open an hour this day or 2 hours that day. I don't foresee us really having a problem with some of those places. But I try to include something here. One, 902.25 1B, and there's the Roman numerals there. But that's the kind of stuff that we were seeing I was seeing in Cedarburg, is whether the doors are open, lights are on. I mean, it's
Yeah.
enough to have a cop maybe drive by once or twice a shift if we think there's a problem and say, the doors are never open and the lights are never on. If they can come in with wholesaler contracts and receipts, or receipts just generally, hey,
I've been
we're-
buying stuff.
right,
Yeah.
where I'm trying or I'm doing business, here's my receipts from the sales we had that day, showing that they're open. I guess they can fudge those receipts to some extent, but that's going to be a whole nother ball of wax for them.
And we're dealing right now with retro. We don't know if they're open or closed.
Right.
You know, I think it'd be good to have something, but how do you?
So what is everybody consensus of the committee here? Are we in the right direction? I kinda like the idea too, just,
30.
see, these are the rules, but we can make an exception, but we have to, it's gotta be for
For
a
cause.
real
I know what
good
Scott Post would say.
cause. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's,
I don't want to make an
that's why
exception
we're
of
trying
blow the
to.
rule wide open.
Yeah.
But as long as somebody's coming to us with a plan and has something concrete where we can either differentiate or not differentiate.
I mean, you could write exceptions or be, well, maybe, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I
Go ahead.
interrupted. Exceptions may be granted for caterers, special
Special event facilities.
fraternal clubs, or however you want to define it.
Mr. Chair.
Hold on, Mike.
And again, have we ever had a problem with this? Does anybody recall in West Dallas where we ever had somebody who said they were open and we didn't believe them? I mean, obviously we went through the Shakey's thing, but he never even contended that he was open.
We came close on that sail in to some degree, didn't we?
No, he said he was closed.
I thought he said he was really making the point of, I just have to pour 2 beers and I'm good for, and
But he never even tried to
Never
do
even
that.
did that. I
He never even did
understand.
that.
And then if I may, Mr. Chair, what is
Oh, no.
the tall guy catering? Is that A or B?
That's an A, I think. Most off-premise, most caterers have an
Right.
A, essentially a liquor store. They deliver the liquor to the
No, right,
premises.
no, I-
Yeah,
I-
but the facility would have a combination B,
Right.
which is what I don't even know what it's called. Holly House, is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah, yeah. And she said she wasn't. She said I'm not going to be open a lot. I'm going to be open for weddings and catered events. And I think we kind of like that idea, right? You know.
And so I can see about adding exceptions. I can see about figuring ways in there. Under 4, if they want to petition, I see an error in mine already. But if they're not going to be able to comply with what it would be now 2 or 3, they can apply for that exemption and say, hey, I'm going to be open, but it's not going to be 10 days a month. It's going to be very in flux. And that way we can at least have information, okay, this is how many contracts you're trying to pull in. Or if we start getting concerned about the fact that they're not doing anything, bring them in here and say, this was your plan that you provided us, this is what you said you were doing, why are you not complying with that? And then revoke for not having them be operational, not complying with their petition for exemption and not be operational for our 10 days. It's just ammo, it's just something to use.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And Mr. Chair,
Oh, maybe.
could a bar decide, hey, we're going to close up, I want to try selling this license, and say, well, we're in the catering business, just give us or not a catering, but
Event hall.
an event hall,
Or-
and we only do one event a year.
Well,
But that's where you're saying,
Yeah.
well, it
Well,
wasn't
you
in
get
your
the
plan,
Right.
so we're
They
not
gotta
going to grant
petition
I'm
you for
amending my
once a
plan,
year.
by the way,
Right.
my next license.
They gotta bring in a petition, they gotta ask for
Bar
that
and
exemption,
event
and if they come in and say, well, I don't wanna, I'm just gonna have it open once a year, let's look at some factors here, and kind of the fact that, no, this is not what we wanna have
We
running in
would
the
say
city.
this is a loophole.
Right, we're
which
denying that
acting on.
petition,
Yeah, okay.
and you gotta be operational. If you're not gonna be operational, you revoke.
Okay, so you're gonna still be working on this?
I will continue to work on it until somebody
So
says
move
I
in the
like
right
it enough to
direction.
push it in.
I mean, if
Okay.
Bing Crosby wants to come and open Holiday Inn, open just on the holidays, I think we would let him, right?
If it was Bing Crosby.
And probably walks through that door. I'm a little sketchy myself.
Wow.
So,
It was a little in
Okay.
Vermont.
We'll set this maybe just so I have a timeline up, another few weeks out, I'll update it and chit chat again.
yeah,
That's
wanna
not good.
send us the copy of it
Sure.
again,
Yep.
so we can go over it and if I look at it, if you have any questions, give them a call.
If you have any ideas, I welcome the discussion. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no problem. Okay, back to number 12, Vanny's Kitchen. It's after 7, he's not here. So we're gonna move this for summons of complaint.
This is his second non-appearance, or is it his first? Yeah, Ann's saying first, so I think we should hold it
Give
and give
one
him a
more.
second chance.
Okay, but
It's your district. Yeah.
how long we been? How long, we've been waiting for this for a while though, haven't we?
From my side,
Years.
The signing's been a while. The building code inspection stuff seems to have been taken care of. Health, I don't know. I'll find out.
How long
Okay.
ago did he apply?
Okay, then,
Or initially?
This
mean-
is the 17-18 one.
But yeah, I mean, so it's.
It's a
But he had applied before that one.
It was approved back in May.
Okay.
This is a renewal. This is a 17-18 renewal
Right.
that was approved in May.
Okay. And
And
before that, we had issues too on
Ye-
previous.
Yeah, that's why
applications.
we had the summons complaint.
okay,
on
we
the
can
other
hold it,
one,
it's not a problem.
Because he didn't appear when we asked him to,
Mhm.
so,
Okay, we can hold, it's not a problem.
okay.
Okay, is there anything else?
Will we adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Pass your names down.